Hello, welcome. Today I have Angie once again. Thank you for joining us down in the studio. We're talking about feeling up Lego packages and how you determine your CMF before you take it to the register and buy it. Of course, at the Atlanta Brick Co., we do sell them opened, so if you want to bypass all that, if you want to save the arthritis in your hands, we do have that. If you're in Walmart, Toys R Us, or the official Lego store and you have the time to feel them up, we're going to give you our hints, tips, and tricks on how to find out what's inside the package. What I thought was very interesting, when we did our CMF podcast, Chris mentioned how the first few packages actually had codes on them.
Yes, they did.
And because of the internet, people found out what the codes meant immediately and posted them. And you could look up that code and it was 99% correct every time. You could just read the code and get the package. And then they moved to bump codes. And then they just, I think he said fairly early.
They figured it out.
Series 2 or 3, they stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Fairly
they figured
early.
it out that we figured it out.
Yeah. They were wise to us. Lego truly wants this to be a surprise, unless you're really good with your hands.
Yes.
I need to stop. My wife made fun of my brother and I because we were in Toys R Us one day when there was a Toys R Us, and she said, "You guys look weird standing over there, two adult men molesting packages." And
I know.
So I'll tell you my method, and you jump in and tell me what you do. First of all, I would like to give a shout out to John.
John Snyder.
He is blind bag thieving
master.
I don't know how he does it. I mean, he does it so fast.
He does. Can I tell you my John Snyder story?
Please.
Because this is amazing. When I first came to work at the store, I wanted all of them, I think it was Series 14, all the monsters. He had a bunch of bags then. A girl that used to work here said, "You should get John. He can fill them up and figure out what's what." I was like, okay. So he kept saying he could do it fast. And I'm like, okay. So I set my timer. I needed all of them from the whole thing. He was able to find every one of them for me, and not one was a repeat. And he did it in like 1 minute and 20 seconds or something. 1 minute and I don't know. It was this crazy number. He was like, boop, 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 boop.
It takes me a minute and a half per bag, I think.
At least for me. Again, after I saw him do it, I thought, I can do this. So I go to the store and I told Chris, I said, I think it was Disney CMFs or something. And I said, "Chris, I found a bunch. Do you want me to?" He said, "Well, look for specific ones." And I said, okay. So I'm confident this is it, and I did it super fast. I got back here and gave him the bags and we opened them. Only one of them was everything he wanted. Everything else was wrong. I was like, no, I'm not John. I can't do it. I've gotten better since then, but
seriously, it is amazing. It's almost like he goes, "Devil boy." And it's that quick.
It is that fast.
It's kind of creepy. I am not that quick. And I have been wrong, but just a handful of times in the time I've started doing this. What I do is I watch videos, usually, at least in Georgia and the area we live in, the CMFs come out earlier than we get them.
For some reason.
So other YouTubers will have them. I usually watch the video a couple of times, and then I pull up Lego's official picture of them with all the accessories. And so I study that, and I memorize, okay, these 4 have short legs. These 2 have this, and you just memorize parts. And if you ask John, that's his method too. I think he said you have to know the parts really well.
Parts. That's the main thing. You have to know the accessories.
And then you just feel up and look for those parts. The first few times you do this, it's like everything feels the same.
Exactly. I was just about to say, he told me how to do it. He taught me how. And the first, I thought, that's a piece of cake. And then I started feeling it. I'm like, well, that just... So I would feel it, and then I'd say, "I think this is this," and then I'd give it to John. He'd go, "No, it's this," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, like it's to me like
felt the same.
Hair and helmets are really hard to tell the difference sometimes.
Yes,
and you don't know what direction something is facing in the bag, and these bags are kind of thick.
I was going to say they're thick, and then there's some of them. I think it was in the Disney CMFs where some of them felt like they were double bagged, almost like so thick you couldn't feel hardly anything in it.
Yes.
And I'm not sure why that was that way, unless it was the parts were more jagged, or like Elsa and Anna had the slope brick, so maybe it could cut through or something.
Yeah,
so they'd double it.
I believe starting at Unikitty, they started doing a second bag inside, and then some CMFs have continued that with a second bag inside. Okay, so is that pretty close to your method?
Yes, I always find one of these. So if it's a brand new CMF that just came out and we don't have it, I'll usually go to the store and just randomly buy one because I don't care. I'll take it anyway. And then I use this as my cheat sheet. And that's when I am like the weird lady sitting cross-legged on the floor at Walmart looking at my paper and just like trying to feel it. Most people have their favorites, and that's what you're looking for. But for me, usually, I'm happy to get any of them. But then, of course, the one that came out with the dachshund, because of Lily, my dog, I had to have that one. But that one wasn't too hard to feel. It just took forever. So then I go to Atlanta Brick Co. and I buy one because it's already found. But typically, I buy one to get the sheet. I don't watch tutorials.
What I find helpful about watching the videos is they'll show you all sides of it. So sometimes
I
these
didn't know
aren't
that.
as
Okay.
helpful to me
Okay.
because it seems like some of these don't show all the accessories sometimes. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's a weird new part, but I don't know what the back looks like.
I got you.
So you're feeling something, it's like, well, is that or is that this? Because it could be either
True,
one.
that,
so that's
I
why.
have made more mistakes that way, thinking it was one thing and it was absolutely the opposite.
Like this guy's turban is a perfect example.
That could feel like a pumpkin, it could feel like a helmet, or anything.
You basically need to really study this and know what parts are similar, what parts are not similar, what parts are super unique. Like, for instance, I'd say he's the only one with short legs. She's the only one with a skirt. The banana is obviously super easy to feel.
The sombrero would be easier. The guitar probably feels pretty easy.
But like these two guys both come with a 2x2 tile. So if you feel that, you can at least narrow it down to them and then continue feeling for something else.
It's like a mystery. It's like
Yes.
a Sherlock Holmes thing. So, for example, this we know is Devil Boy because John or someone has already identified it. So we keep it in the back when we sell it so that we don't sell the wrong thing. However, we have a built Devil Boy here. So I thought I would show you all of his accessories, the jack-o'-lantern bucket, the pitchfork, or whatever you want to call it, and his wings, of course, and the tail, just to see if we can feel those things in the bag. If I'm feeling here, this again feels like a two-bag thing, and right there I can pretty much tell. But here's the thing, this is the deceitful part. His hat is actually round like the pumpkin. So you could feel this, and either way you'd be right. But if there's another one in here, for instance, the Arctic guy, his hat could feel very much like a pumpkin. That's where I get in trouble a lot too. So knowing that this is the Devil Boy though, I can feel here and feel this is either his hat or this is the pumpkin because it's completely round and there's no little, no horns on it.
The other method you could do is pick the unique piece for that figure. If there's anything super easy, like for him, I would say it's the pitchfork. So if you feel a bar, see how long it is, and does it end in 3 prongs, or the wings.
Correct.
So those would be two. The tail is too rubbery and small. I think it would be too hard.
Yeah.
But if you find those, that would be, okay, that's a super unique piece. That has to be him, right?
This shows how good John is because even though I know this is Devil Boy and I know what I'm looking for, it still feels pretty tough. You try. See what you can feel. Do you feel the wings?
Okay, so that's the plate they stand on.
Correct.
But you're right, like the head,
and
the helmet, and those are easily confused. You'd have to feel all around them to really.
It takes a lot of practice, really. I feel like it does.
And it hurts your hands after all, because maybe I'm pressing too hard.
I think you might be, or maybe I just give up too soon.
I'd like to point this out. I was talking about the advantage of the videos, watching a video, because they show the back. This is a perfect example. If you felt something weird and you had no idea who it was, maybe you're pretty sure it's the Devil Boy, you feel this, you feel that, and then you're thinking, wait, I feel something else. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not Devil Boy, and you start second guessing yourself. His tail, they do not show at all. So if you were watching someone else's review, you'd see, oh, that's what the tail looks like, and then you could be confident, okay, that's the tail. So I'm not wrong.
Well, then maybe I should switch to your version.
To me, that's why I do that, because I always second guess myself.
Oh, I do too. We have a couple others if you just want to play around. Would you like to try to figure out what this Lego Movie one is?
Do you know who it is?
I do know.
See, it's been so long, I don't know the figures as well. Once I learn what they are and I have who I want,
you don't care anymore.
I flush it out.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of those Exoforce Claw things, I think. But I don't remember who had that.
It is an Exoforce Claw.
So what I would do is I would go to the thing and look up who has that. I bet you it's only one, so that would make it Benny! Okay, so obviously there's an extra in the bag.
Yes.
Okay.
You did it. You want to try one more?
Okay.
That's from Series 10.
Mr. Gold.
Oh, you got it. I wish.
Sea captain.
Sea captain. You would be feeling here for the seagull, the binoculars, which would be more difficult, his hat. Depending on who else was in there, it could have been confusing.
And like we mentioned before, pick the unique thing. Pick the easy to find unique thing and try to look for that. That's the best way. Always be aware of what's similar to that shape.
Yes. Yeah, I find it funny. Barnes & Noble sells them too. And when the Series 2 CMFs of Disney came out, I was there and they had it out like 2 weeks before it was to be released. I think that might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
But you could tell who the Lego lovers were because I was sitting there feeling them. Next thing I know, I see this hand come over the shelf. The entire box gets picked up, and this gentleman takes the entire box and goes sit in the coffee area at Barnes & Noble and starts filling up the bags. And I'm like, dude, I was literally using that box.
You slapped him, right?
No, I was just like, whatever.
Speaking of Disney, that particular one was difficult because it had Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yes.
And they were only different by their accessory, right?
Accessory, that's it. We've got 2 of them here. I'm not sure which 2 it is.
Okay, so I'm going to out-Disney you just for a second.
Yes, you are, and that makes me sad.
Just for a second.
That makes me sad.
Well, I'm a huge DuckTales fan.
Okay.
So this is the way to tell.
Okay.
I'm going to drop some knowledge on you.
Okay.
Huey,
yes,
like the hue, a color. The brightest one, red.
Okay.
Hue is red. Dewey, dew, like water.
Was blue.
Louie, leaf, green.
Okay.
That is... I looked that up.
How do you?
I didn't make that up. That's, I think, the creator.
I'll never forget now. I will never forget.
I always remember that now. Once I read that, I was like, oh, okay. I think, in the past, in older cartoons, one of them was yellow. Okay. And sometimes they were all 3 the same color. But the official
the new Brickheads that just came out with Scrooge and these guys, I'll have to look and make sure they're wearing the same colors. They would be, right?
Yeah.
They don't change it anymore.
I think now there's a canon color. Okay. So Huey red, Dewey blue, Louie leaf green. That's awesome. How you know.
I'm so impressed with you. Yeah, so this would have... I did try to find these because these are pretty hard to find.
Mm-hmm. They were more rare, weren't they?
They were very
rare.
The
ratio was lower on them.
When these first came out, we would maybe get 1 or 2, and then they would immediately sell. Mm-hmm. And we would get phone calls and people coming in constantly looking for these.
Because you want all 3.
You do. You have to. They're the nephews. You have to. Yeah.
So he had the book, which was probably the easiest thing to feel.
Correct.
The flashlight was the hardest, I think, that tiny little...
It was.
And it was so similar to other things in that series.
Yes, it was very similar. What did Dewey hold? Do we know?
I don't remember.
We don't have Dewey, and we don't remember. I want to say that even he was difficult to figure out because I thought I'd figured him out when I was looking for him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if another one had a book or something.
Someone else in the series
had something else that felt flat in the bag. And so I was just confident that this was it, but it was not. And I don't remember who it was. I just remember failure. I guess I just don't do enough homework. There is another way.
Yes, a new method I've never thought about.
A new method that we just learned about. A customer did it.
Told us about.
Yeah. So
it's kind of unorthodox, and it's actually pretty difficult.
So we have the Disney Series 1 here. Okay.
So you want me to guess who this is?
So see if you can guess who this is.
All right. So it's regular tall legs. So I can eliminate Ariel. So
Ursula.
I'm crossing a bunch off. Stitch, the alien.
Maleficent.
So I can cross all those immediately within a second. I can cross those off. That's definitely a hair piece. I'm going to go in early on this and say this is Mr. Incredible. But the way I would double check is I'd feel for that tile. And yes, there's a 2x2 tile. Is there anyone else with a 2x2 tile? He's the only one with a tile, so this is Mr. Incredible.
No, you're Mr. Incredible.
Aww.
It was Mr. Incredible. Very good for you.
We actually didn't set this up.
No, we didn't. He had no idea.
I didn't.
It was real
see
time.
That many figures.
This is the method to his madness.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, so that's how you would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
How would you do it?
So I think I'm going to go back to doing what this gentleman did.
Okay.
This is how I think I'm going to start doing it.
Okay.
Okay, so and again, this is a customer that came in and he had all of his identified. He had them each in a bag, which we were very impressed with because most people don't do that. But he took the time to identify it. Now, the only thing you have to buy is an MRI machine.
That's it.
Yeah,
right?
or an ultrasound machine or something like that can see through things.
It's only a few $1 million, right?
You can identify. Maybe you work at the airport. I don't know. Whatever they use at the airport to see things.
Had access. He was a doctor or a radiologist or something.
I believe he was a doctor. Or maybe a radiologist.
He used it to identify his CMFs.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I don't know if this is genius or lazy.
I mean, the fact that he has access to an MRI machine is pretty cool.
Here's the question I have for you is, how
Yeah.
much does your insurance charge for MRIs?
Yeah, I know.
This guy's doing...
He's just doing it for fun. He did them all, and he identified every one of them. This is Buzz Lightyear, so you could see the details
Wow.
of Buzz.
Yeah, you can see the wings and the glass helmet. That is
Yeah.
nuts.
I know.
Okay.
This one is. Let's see. This is Minnie Mouse. You can see her skirt right here, her ears. Yeah. So you would know immediately, and her bow. That's a big deal. Yeah, you would know immediately this is a mouse, but which one? And then you know
Yeah.
you see the skirt and the bow. That's
So
crazy.
next time you go get an MRI or an X-ray, bring your minifigs. Maybe they'll do you a favor.
Yeah, while you're on the table anyway, just lay it beside yourself. Just say, can you line these figures up beside me as we go? We were so impressed.
That is the things you see here working at the Atlanta Brick Co. So that's our method for figuring out minifigs. What's your method? Do you have a different prep work that you do? I like to watch the videos. She likes to look at pictures.
yeah.
But is there something else we're missing? Is there an easier way? Are you guys like John who can do
I was
it
gonna
in
say,
seconds? Well, thank you, Angie. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Hopefully
Absolutely.
this
Thanks for having me.
helped. This is our method. Of course, if you get minifigures you don't want, bring them to us.
We'll love to have them.
We'll trade them in, give you some store credit or cash if you want. I would like to mention, because I saw this happen yesterday, we only sell minifigs in near mint condition.
Correct. Pristine.
There were some kids who were giving Chris a little bit of lip because he was not offering them full price. And he
Yeah.
said, right then there, he said, look, this one has scratches all over it. There's a crack under this arm. This figure's worth $40 in mint right now. I couldn't sell this
Yeah.
for $15.
Absolutely.
So we only sell mint. I mean, there are some exceptions,
If
but
it's
in
not
general.
mint, it's labeled. And
Cool.
I'm going to talk to Chris. I think we should invest in the machine in the
Yeah,
back.
well, he has a couple $1 million, right?
Oh, yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Or several $1 million.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Angie, for
Absolutely.
gracing our studio with your presence and letting us
you.
know how
Thanks for
you do
letting
it. Let us know your method for discovering minifigures. Do you watch videos? Do you just look at pictures? Do you use an MRI machine? Or do you just sit in Walmart on the floor for hours?
Or do you just come to our store and buy them because we've already done the work for you?
We've done the work for you.
Yeah.
Well, what's more important, your time or your money? That's how it
For
comes
me,
down
it's
to.
the challenge of trying to find it. And then once I realize I'm a failure, I just go to the store and buy it.
You're on the hunt. We'll see you guys very soon. Please subscribe. For those of you who are subscribed, thank you so much. And we'll be back soon.
Bye.